Yo, YouTube, what is going on? Radar 25, back again, back at it. Another takeaway video from This Week in Wrestling. This episode is going to be about AEW Dynamite from March 4th, and it's going to be our 4 takeaways from AEW Dynamite. Obviously, Radar 25 here. My co-host, who is now going by his Twitter handle of Fuentemania, a name that he stole from me almost 10 years ago. So he's jumping in. He's finally upgraded his camera. So let's congratulate him on that. Big accomplishment there. And go ahead, Michael, a.k.a. Fuentemania, say what's up to the crowd.
What up, Marks? Look at me in 4K, looking all glorious. Only I can look like the 4K. If you don't have a 4K display, you need to get on that, son. Feel bad for you. Because look at this beautiful picture we got going. Look how good that looks. So good. So good.
In the comment section below, write down how my picture actually looks better than this motherfucker's picture.
Not true. I'm at 4K. All right.
So they say.
What? It's 4K. It's my work build weight. All right. Yeah. Don't hate.
So again, it's our 4 takeaways from AEW Dynamite of March 4th. Before we get in the video, I want to remind you guys to drop a like on this video and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Subscriber count needs to start going up. Let's help out, support the cause. Write down in the comment section what you guys think of the videos. Anything you guys recommend for these videos, let us know. We could always try to add stuff in. You know, we're trying to be as bare bones right now as possible. So let us know what you guys think. You know, follow us on Twitter. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram. My brother's just on Twitter alone. I'll put those links in the description below. Follow us, connect with us. Let's talk wrestling, talk video games. You guys let us know what you guys want to talk about, but connect with us there. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. 4 takeaways from AEW Dynamite. All right, guys. So the show started off different than normal because, you know, AEW likes to start their shit off hot. They started it off hot, but with a promo from Jon Moxley's first appearance after Revolution with the AEW title. Comes out from the crowd. Super over. They're in
the eye patch. Don't forget.
Without the eye patch, yeah, which will come into play a little bit later as to why Jericho's upset about that. So they're in a random town in Colorado. Shout out to that random town.
Yeah,
I have no idea what town it was, but they were in Colorado.
Also, that they got an AEW show.
There was a hot crowd, though. It was a hot crowd.
It was a great crowd. Crowd.
They had, they were super into this exchange. So Moxley comes out. He cuts a promo about how the belt and those 3 letters on the belt represent pro wrestling. Obviously, a shot at WWE.
No sports entertainment over here.
Sports entertainment, yeah. So he's taking shots at them, subtly shots. And how the belt belongs not to him, never did to Chris Jericho, that it belongs to the fans because they're the ones that, helped create AEW and bring into existence.
Well, we forced the issue. We wanted more wrestling.
More wrestling, more reality-based wrestling, more serious wrestling.
We wanted pro wrestling back.
Exactly. Not sports entertainment, random characters and shit like that.
Yep.
So, he cuts this promo. Here comes, he says he's not dumb. He knows that he's not done with the Inner Circle. As soon as he said that, Judas hits. Here comes Jericho with the Inner Circle.
And is there anything better than that Judas coming on and the fans singing along?
All right, so look, check it out. Amazing song, right? I love that song. So they start singing at the crowd, but then they start booing and shitting on Jericho during the promo. It's like they don't know what to do, right? They just love Jericho so much, but they just play along.
Still legit.
So they're having a nice back and forth, Jericho and Moxley. Jericho's upset. He's calling Moxley a cheater. And the funny thing is he's calling a cheater because Jericho says he's specifically trained to fight a man with one eye. And
that's a good point. I mean, he went in there knowing he only had one eye. So
how the fuck do you train for a guy with one eye? So you only fight or train from one side of a room or some shit?
Basically.
So I'm training to have a wrestling match with somebody else. Everything I do, I'm going to train from one side of the room because I know he can only see me from the other side.
Yes, of course.
Whatever you say.
All right.
I guess we got to suspend disbelief on that one.
There's no suspension of disbelief there. It's a completely realistic scenario. You train. He probably was coming stuff from his blind side. He thought he was blind, but he wasn't. He did cheat. That's a cheating move.
Well, he says he cheated, and at the fact that he was playing him and both eyes were working, even though he decided to take the eye patch off at the last second of the match before he won it,
Still
whatever.
Cheating.
And then so he basically says this, and then he's saying that the Inner Circle is basically going to become hired guns, and they're taking everybody out in AEW locker room, including Moxley. And he's coming back for that title. But he also, what he does is says that if Moxley tonight, because the main event is Sammy Guevara, Jericho versus Darby Allin and Moxley, if Moxley walks out of the arena tonight on his own, on his own will and is not dragged out or carried out on a stretcher, that Jericho will take a 60-day hiatus, leave of absence from AEW.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a big deal if he didn't do it, because 60 days without the former champ, without that champion, that's not a good look.
That's a big thing. So it kind of, you're wondering who's going to win that match. I mean, like, not who's going to win the match, but is he going to walk out? Yes or no? Because they could write him off for 60 days. He was champion for over 180, right? So they could write him off just to get him out and then bring him back. But then what do you do with the Inner Circle?
And he's the biggest star of the Inner Circle. So you're like, are they going to do it?
I'm pretty sure the rematch is coming. Jericho Moxley 2 for the title. It could be a multi-man match if they want to add another piece into it. Could happen. But overall, good segment. Good promo by Moxley. Obviously, Jericho's going to drop some fire like he always does. He always does an entertaining promo. The crowd is really into it. They're saying a lot of bullshit chants, bullshit chants. Jericho's getting some heat, even though for him, he's just so popular and so cool and so respected that nobody can really hate him.
I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best of all time. So you can't hate him. He's so entertaining. Even when he's being an asshole to the fans, people still love it because he's Chris Jericho. He's always been so good at it.
And he fucking hit the Sammy G hug pose that they like to do with each other smiling.
Yeah, that was awesome too.
But you could tell Moxley's just having so much more fun in AEW and how much more passion he has for wrestling again, because he's in a company where he feels comfortable, where he feels happy.
Unlike in WWE.
And he can be him. He doesn't have to be that goofy lunatic bullshit that they had him doing in WWE. Even though some of it was okay, but a lot of the shit was kind of hokey that they had him doing. Obviously, he's not the one that wants to do that type of work and that type of stuff. So like I said, good segment. The crowd makes it better because they were just so into it, obviously. So it was a hot crowd and it made the segment a lot better. Now, going into the next thing of the night, the first match of the night was SCU and Colt Cabana versus the Dark Order.
The debut of Colt Cabana in the ring.
He made his first appearance in AEW on Revolution during the SCU and Dark Order match, right?
Like pre-show match.
The pre-show match. The pre-show. And he came in and he did his thing. They announced that he's the new signee. So they do this match. Yeah, it's an okay match. Like the Dark Order, they're not really hitting for me. It's a hokey gimmick. It reminds me of like Ministry of Darkness meets Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. It's just a weird in between. Evil Uno leading it. It's not really. Yeah. To me, it's one of the weaker storylines that they got going in AEW. Yeah, which I tend to agree with at this point. But, SCU gets the win. Colt Cabana gets the pin. They want to hype up the new signee, so he got the win. The match was what it was, but, that's pretty much it. And we go into the next match, which was Big Swole versus Leva Bates, which is part of the Librarian crew.
Who?
Yeah, a Librarian or whatever. Big Swole dominates and gets the win. Britt Baker on commentary. Again, she keeps playing up her heel persona. It's just Big Swole looking strong going into obviously he's going to get a match against Nyla Rose for the title. That's
gotta make her look strong
most
against
likely
a big
on
girl.
TV. So you make her look strong and have her keep going.
Yep. And it's Big Swole.
Yeah. The next thing was a promo by Cody Rhodes. Now this is going to be takeaway number 2 of the night. So he cuts a promo talking about MJF and how MJF cheated and stuff like that. Then we get a surprise. Jake the Snake Roberts music hits. Here comes Jake the Snake. He looks well. Good for him.
He looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good.
He came in and interrupts the Cody promo and basically says he's tired of hearing Cody bitch and moan. And basically he's saying he's coming at Cody, talking about he's bringing the dark side to AEW and it's coming after Cody. Now speculation begins as to who this mystery character is and the fact that, they're going to use that word dark side. So, could it be a Luke Harper or Brody Lee making his appearance? Because we don't know. They got 2 mystery characters, right? The Exalted one for the Dark Order and the Dark Side that Jake the Snake Roberts is bringing to AEW to take on Cody and take Cody's piece of the pie when it comes to AEW.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that was like, could it be Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt coming in? Probably not, because they
announced him. Yeah, I think there's not much surprise.
I don't think he's the guy.
Yeah.
Could it be Matt Hardy coming in, the Unkillable? Maybe come in, but he might be the Exalted one from the Dark Order.
Well, let me stop you right there, cuz just want to get back. If it's Matt Hardy, now Matt Hardy at this point, I think he's more of a character-based performer rather than an in-ring, because you see his style has slowed down with the injuries, and he doesn't seem as crisp as he used to.
And
so I think he's going to be more of like a character-based personality on there rather than an in-ring guy. So for him to be the dark side one, I don't think it makes much sense because he's going to have to go on one-on-one matches with Cody. So that's why I think Brody Lee.
And he doesn't need a manager. He doesn't need a promo like Jake.
Yeah.
Jake's one of the best promos to ever do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's Matt because
that's it. That's if Jake is going to stay there for season.
Well, I think no. Well, Jake walked in and literally had that cool ass line where he was like, "Somebody told me don't turn your back on someone you respect and someone you're afraid of," and then he just turns his back, throws the mic at him. And basically said, "Go fuck yourself, Cody. I ain't scared. I don't respect you." So that was that was a classic badass move by Jake Snake Roberts. So most likely, I think it's going to be Luke Harper. Just the fact that he was never a big promo guy. He never really did his own promos. Ray did most of the talking in the group, and when it really wasn't a promo guy. So Jake, one of the best promos of all time, like I said, is a perfect mouthpiece for Luke Harper, who's a menacing monster. So for Cody,
which his name is good. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to use his name, Brody Lee, that he goes by when he was in the Indies beforehand, or maybe they'll come up with a different name for him. I don't know if Brody Lee really goes with the dark side. I mean, it depends on what he looks like when he comes out. Because I doubt he's going to have the jeans and the tank top like he had before. It doesn't really. I don't understand that.
We'll see, but
for the whole dark side thing,
this is all speculation. We have no idea who it could be. It could be anybody for all we know.
And we're assuming now the MJF feud is over with Cody, even though MJF did have a promo later on where he had a T-shirt that says "I pin Cody," but he's just being an asshole at that point, right? So I don't think it has to do with the feud continuing. He looks like he's going to look on to maybe an AEW title shot eventually.
And quick side note on MJF. Do you see where he gave the finger to that kid?
Yeah, man, I fucking heard the kid's dad was heated about that.
What's
shit.
He pissed off? That guy looked of age. That guy looked of age when kayfabe was still alive, and all MJF is doing is keeping kayfabe alive. You can't be mad at that. That's just a beautiful thing.
He's keeping the gimmick alive outside of the ring, which is a good thing.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that kid got what he deserved most likely. He knew what he was getting himself into. You know what I'm saying?
It's his fault, not MJF.
Yeah.
MJF is who he is. A prick.
All right, so next thing we had after the promo was Pac versus Chuck Taylor of the Best Friends. Chuck Taylor's a pretty underrated guy, but they had a good enough match between the two of them. Pac wins by submission, and Orange Cassidy feud continues with Pac along with the Best Friends. Lucha Brothers come out, and the battle ensues there.
Big time hit there. I mean, they killed Cassidy. The
Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros just destroyed him with that crazy move they put on. They literally looked like they killed him. So again, we're getting a lot of stables in AEW at the moment. So I do like that. It's kind of like gang warfare. Reminds me of like late 90s WWE with all the crazy groups. This Pac and Lucha Bros, that's a medicine as anybody. They're all badasses. And their name, I don't love the Death Triangle, but
it sounds better when they do it in Spanish, el Triángulo de la Muerte.
But can you imagine JR saying that shit?
Yeah, he's not. I doubt he's going to say any of those guys. Maybe Excalibur. I believe Excalibur might
try.
know Spanish, right? Yeah,
Fucking Tony's like, I try. Tony's like, whatever you say, Excalibur.
That's right, Excalibur. That's their name. Yep. What's their name? That's correct, Excalibur. So it was what it was, but now we have a new faction in AEW, and they're going to go obviously head-to-head with the Best Friends. So they'll probably a lot of six-man tags. Normal four-man tags, six-man tags, and obviously singles matches, and just working the guys all around between them.
And that ass whooping by Lucha Bros on Cassidy, he's gonna have to try again.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna have to try. So the next match was QT Marshall versus Jake Hager. Now this is takeaway number 3, not because of the match, but because what happened after the match. Yeah. Hager wins by submission. He chokes QT out. Then we have Dustin coming in and attacking Jake Hager. Obviously, they had the match last Saturday at Revolution, so there's still a feud brewing there. Then Dustin's attacked by Santana and Ortiz. Then Cody comes out to make the save, but the numbers are too much. Then Matt Jackson comes out. Nick Jackson's hurt along with Kenny Omega. They're not at the show, so he comes out to fight. Still, the numbers are not enough. And here comes Hangman Adam Page. With beer in hand.
The cowboy shit.
Exactly, yeah. Cowboy shit. Beer in hand.
What's that here?
There we go.
Here's the cowboy shit.
There we go. So he comes in beer in hand, puts the beer on top of the ring post, and then ensues on kicking the ass of the Inner Circle. Seems like they are setting this whole thing up as a setup for, I believe, in 2 weeks. or 2.5 weeks, they have their show at Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Where it's Blood and Guts. Obviously, that's War Games. They're not allowed to use the name, but they can use Blood and Guts. They have the concept they can use, but not the name. So they're going to use the Blood and Guts. I'm assuming it's going to be a formation of the Elite, whether it's the guys we saw in the ring today, last night, or a different variation, maybe a couple pieces swapped out, maybe both the Bucks in there. Who knows? Maybe I would assume. I don't know if they're going to do Kenny, Hangman, and the Bucks. If it's a team of 4,
well,
I mean, teams of 5, it's up to them. They could add another part, maybe Dustin. I would assume it would be Dustin, the Bucks, and Kenny, and or maybe Cody.
Well,
I think Cody would have to be in that match, right?
I mean, it has to be the match, and we're not sure. Like, we get the rules next week, so we can't speculate on that stuff because we don't know what the numbers are going to be or how the match are going to. For all we know, it could be 2 or 3 tag teams. We don't know.
I am hoping they put a roof on it though.
Yeah, I mean they need a roof because the one on NXT misses a roof.
Yeah, misses a roof, so it kind of looks kind of odd. Even though they've had good matches in those.
They've had awesome matches, but
and now it's like, okay, so you have the new style of wrestling where it's all high flying. So then if you don't have a top to if you have a top to the cage, it cuts off the stuff they can do. Remember those old War Games cages? The top was really low. Yeah. So like you could stand on a turnbuckle and be holding and like have to duck. Maybe they raise it up because that last cage we saw in the first ever cage match in AEW, it's a big ass fucking cage.
Yeah,
right?
It was a huge cage,
right?
Yeah.
So maybe they use that similar type of cage with a roof on it. Maybe cut it a little bit shorter, but you're able to do high flying moves.
We'll get to that next week when they announce it. Well, one of the things that I want to get to is Hangman is becoming a bit of a star. They're like a homegrown. They really worked at it. I mean, when he first had his match against Jericho for the championship, for the inaugural championship match, wasn't really big on the guy as if he's a next star, but he's shown with this little backdoor beef not really backdoor. He literally gave the finger to Matt Jackson.
He did,
took a beer, walked out, basically
because you thought they were gonna like be cool at that point because he came out for the save, but then he was still like, gave up.
He was still an asshole. And it was awesome. He came in with the buzz, walked in, went in the match, said, "Hold up, everybody, I'll put my beer back," and then
he kicked ass. And then maybe they're setting up. Maybe they'll do the turn or the betrayal at the Blood and Guts event because that seems like it's gonna be a big show. Now AEW is doing a good job where these they feel like kind of like Clash of Champions where they'll have regular TVs, they have a theme to them, feel bigger, like they did Bash at the Beach.
Yep.
They did the Homecoming one. Obviously, the Atlanta one felt big just because it was in Atlanta, but they're going to do Blood and Guts, which is War Games. So they do a good job of doing that. Since they don't have that many pay-per-views as WWE, they do a good enough job of spreading these things out. So it feels like these regular shows are bigger shows because they attach a name to it and a gimmick to it. So that's good stuff by them, But there's still issues between Paige and the Bucks, so we're gonna see how that plays out and how the teams are gonna be fleshed out going into Blood and Guts in Newark.
100%.
Next thing we had was Jericho and Sammy G versus Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. Was the main event of the night. Obviously, they talked about it in the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. Now, what we had here was everybody comes out to the ring. Obviously, Moxley's the last guy to come out because he's the champ. He comes out the Shield entrance he gets because he comes out to the crowd.
Yep.
Now you see him pandering a lot in the crowd, and waiting for
three strange masked guys. You're like, what's up with the guys with the masks?
Strange masked
dudes. Those guys are 3 losers with those masks.
Yeah. I mean, you could kind of tell who they were underneath the masks.
A little bit.
But they beat the shit out of Jon Moxley, took him into the corridor and the hallway of the
now,
arena.
Now, AEW is doing a lot of backstage brawls. I do like it.
Or like the hallway stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah, but this is like maybe like the 3rd or 4th time I've seen it. And it's like, maybe we should just lay back a little bit because, I mean, it's special when you haven't seen it, but when you see it so much, it just kind of loses its.
They're the only ones doing it. WWE's not really doing it that much. I think they can get away with it as long as they do it as the way they did it. When they're gonna do a beatdown like that, it makes sense because they did it while he's coming out to the ring through the crowd, so it makes sense, right? So they haven't done it where it's just they brawl to the back and then that the shit ensues back there. So I think they're doing an okay job of it. But they beat up Moxley. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it becomes a 2v1, so Darby Allin's in there by himself. But this was done, obviously, to build Darby Allin as a bigger star than he is right now, right? To keep building him.
And he put up a great showing against
a great fight, even though he got smashed by that Judas effect when he did the tope outside, and Jericho caught him with the Judas effect as he was going to the ring. Yeah. Which you said they missed, right?
Which they missed because, like, they had the hard camera stuff, the hard camera, and then he's flying through, and it looks like Jericho just kind of steps out of the way, and this guy just kamikaze himself.
Burns,
yeah, and even Tony Schiavone was like, "Oh, looks like he just stepped out the way," and JR wasn't sure. Excalibur brought up that there was a Judas effect in the way, so as then they did the replay, you saw that it was a great move, perfectly timed. It looked really good. That Judas effect. I mean, it's a simple move, but you can hit it from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It looks bad. It looks good when you hit it right. He hit it right.
Well, man, that's the best thing is when you're finished, you can hit it on anybody. It doesn't matter the size of the guy or anything like that. Yeah, you can hit it on anybody.
And I'm not a pro wrestler, never have been, but I've heard people say, or pro wrestlers say, if you're gonna have a finisher, you need to be able to do it on a giant or the shortest guy on the roster.
Yeah,
so
you can hit it on anybody. That's what we've heard. And obviously, it reigns true when you see a guy like Chris Jericho being able to do when he had the code breaker as his finish. You can do it on anybody, and now Judas Effect in the AEW, he's able to use it on whoever his opponent is. So
just Jericho, just always changing his style, changing it up, freshening up everything. I mean, he's had like 8 different finishers in his life, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So obviously it's a 2v1. We all knew Darby Allin probably wasn't going to pull it out, which he didn't, but he put a hell of a fight. So it obviously elevates him even more and it builds him even more. So Inner Circle gets the win, Jericho and Sammy Guevara. So the beatdown obviously ensues because they're the Thug faction. They're going to beat everybody down. Yep. As they said before, they're now hired guns and taking everybody out in AEW. Here comes Moxley down the ramp limping. Now, okay, he's limping, but then later on in the ring, he doesn't sell the limp anymore.
Yeah, but that's
he was in and out of the cell, which kind of bothered me a little bit. It took me out of it because like I'm souped to see him come back, and he's limping, but then in the ring he goes in and out of selling the limp and the injuries from the beatdown kind of threw me out of it a little bit. But it brought me back in when they beat the shit out of him again. He took a beating for the second time, and they powerbombed him off the stage. Onto the floor.
And they all made sure that Jericho was not going to take a 60-day hiatus. They made sure he didn't walk out that night. He did not walk out. From what we saw, he did not walk out on his own volition. So we got that. And again, they all gave him the finger. The entire Inner Circle just sat there at the top of the stage.
Yeah, so he got, Jericho made good on his promise, and he's still going to be around. No 60-day hiatus. Overall, another solid TV show from AEW. The
really good.
Always good, right?
I can't think of one that was bad or like that I was bored or didn't want to, was like, oh, this kind of, I mean, there's some hit or miss segments, but I mean,
as overall shows, they've been all good. Yeah.
Yeah. For like 4 or 5 months that they've been on. I mean, it's been awesome wrestling.
And it's amazing that the two best shows are on the same night.
Yeah,
between AEW and NXT.
Wednesday Night Wars are for sure. Yeah. I mean, just throw a number.
It may not be as like heavy as it used to. The Monday Night Wars.
No. I mean, there was like 7.
In terms of quality, they are going head to head.
I mean, I'll show you the numbers now. I looked it up. AEW had 900.
Wait, before you get in that, there's a breaking news alert right here that we actually have a statistic on here.
Oh yeah, we have a statistic.
It actually sounds somewhat professional if he's got his sources right. So we're gonna see this shit right now.
This comes from Brian Alvarez.
Okay, so, reputable source, yeah.
Reputable source. Okay, AEW 906,000 viewers last night. NXT 718,000 viewers.
So there's a bit of a gap there. There's a gap there, yeah.
About 200,000 people, but that's not even close to hitting 1 million. I mean, like the Monday Night Wars are going to 7 million people, 8 million people were watching. Yeah.
But you can't expect they're not hitting 1 million. I mean, still Raw and SmackDown are getting higher ratings than both these shows.
But how about those stats, huh? You like that?
There you go, stats. Don't get used to that shit because it's not going to be a normal thing. That's probably a one-time thing. Remember to take a snapshot of this moment right now so you remember that there was one stat on this.
You will never hear us say that match ended at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. No, it's just not going to happen.
You will never hear that. Nope. All right. Nope. So that's AEW Dynamite from March 4th, 2020. Now, before we end the video, we have to get into the final segment, which is going to be a reoccurring segment, and it's called That Shit Sucked. Now, good a show as AEW Dynamite was from last night, we still have to have a segment. We have to choose a part and say that shit sucked. Now,
because we're way too positive, so we have to
exactly. Now, this part sucked to me because I feel like the Dark Order, they've been very prominent on the weekly show. And they're losing. They're not being shown as dominant. And to me, it makes no sense. They have Colt Cabana. You could have just had Colt Cabana in another match. Maybe have him beat up QT Marshall. Who the fuck cares, right? Have him we want to get him a win. He can get a win against somebody else. But he gets a win against Dark Order. And they keep talking about the Exalted One, and then they're losing. So it's when the Exalted One shows up, are they going to start winning? Are they going to be a dominant force?
Maybe.
Because they're just kind of there, and now they're losing. So it's 50-50. It's what people complain about WWE and their booking. That's what I see there in the way they book Dark Order. 50-50 pretty much.
They're not coming off dominant. They're not like a force really. I don't like this storyline with them. Like they're just kind of weird. They're kind of fluky. It's definitely just taking stuff from the Wyatt family and Sister Abigail as the Exalted One, and maybe we'll see Exalted One and we never saw Sister Abigail, but they're just kind of fluky right now. They're kind of and then there are so many stables that are so much better than them.
Yeah.
You got Nightmare Family, Inner Circle. You got the Death Triangle, who looks way better than they. Even
Yeah.
SCU with Colt. I like that way better than I like Dark
I mean,
Order.
and you have Nightmare Family, but also that's like separate from the Elite. The Elite's something different
and
too,
the Elite's
right? So
something
it's
different too.
there's a
So
ton of guys that are in factions. Yeah, the Dark Order tends to fall down, but if you're gonna hype an exalted one or like a mystery character, you might as well at least keep him somewhat strong. So when that character shows up, he's joining a faction or leading a faction that
you
actually
care about.
Yeah, has something behind it. At this point, like, do you really care about them? I think the thing that screwed up the most was that time where they were attacking, the Elite basically in the ring, and they missed all those punches on Dustin Rhodes.
Oh yeah. I mean, ever since then, I just haven't been behind them.
Yeah,
I
think that's pretty much a kiss of death right there. So hopefully, maybe the exalted one kind of helps him out. But
and I don't like Evil Uno. Like, he's not in there. Like,
yeah, you do hate that guy. That is true.
I don't like Evil Uno.
Michael does not like that guy whatsoever. But
to me, it's like it.
Yeah, Fuentemania doesn't like it. So that was the segment that we took as that shit sucked, right? The match wasn't a bad match. We're taking apart the fact that the way they're booking the Dark Order, being that they're so prominent on TV and they keep with the vignettes and the Exalted One talk. So, I think they should do a better job of just doing that.
But again, we're still early in the life cycle of AEW, so there's still so many time. Like, we're 4 or 5 months in.
Yeah,
we don't have.
Yeah, because what happens is like, so you have them beefing with SCU. Who do you want to lose? Because SCU were the first ever tag champs. Now they lost it. Do you want them to take the L's? What do you want to do? So I think they should just have Dark Order beat up on other smaller tag teams, like a Angelico and Jack Evans type tag teams. Teams that aren't prominent on the show, so they can build because AEW keeps track of records, right? So you don't want Dark Order to have a sub 500 record.
I mean, I can't remember the time they won.
Unless when they bring in the Exalted One, they're going to go on a hell of a run and start running through the entire division.
When the Unkillable Matt Hardy shows up,
I guess if it is Unkillable Matt Hardy, we saw the video on YouTube of the Bucks showing up at the Hardy compound because obviously he knew they come. So there we go. That's the segment. That shit sucked. That's what we thought sucked, and that's the video for today. AEW Dynamite. So Radar 25 here. Michael, aka Fuentemania now. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. He's supposedly on 4K, which he's obviously not.
What 4K, bro?
That's the video for today. We're gonna drop the NXT.
Alive.
We're gonna drop the NXT video, right? So we'll catch you guys later. Leave us in the comment section below. Leave us, some questions or what you guys want to talk about when it comes to AEW. And hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, if it doesn't work for you, brother, don't do the job. Peace out.
Later, Marks.